Thank you. All right, today we're going to be discussing about deportation. This is a hot topic. As you know, our Gambian brothers and sisters have recently been deported from Europe, especially in Germany. And this is causing a lot of talk in the Gambia. It has been politicized. There have been a lot of things, you know, that people are saying about this deportation and then the effect of it. So today we're going to look into the details about how this deportation come to be, and what is the difference between now and before. What has changed? Why are our brothers and sisters coming back home forcefully like this? What is behind it? What is government's role? What are the mitigation? What are the plans? If this is going to be going ahead, because we have about 4,000 people from Germany waiting to be deported, um, and more people from the United States and other places. So we need to know what the government has agreed with these countries that is making this possible, and how are these people going to be able to blend with the community when they come back home, being that they're being away for so long. So all these things are important areas that we have to look into. So we here as panelists will discuss our thoughts about it, our recommendation, and what it is that we can do to even stop this happening. So I'm gonna allow my panelists to go ahead, and then we start talking about this. I'll ask Osam, who is gonna take debate.
Alice can go. Since all the people are coming from Germany, or most people are coming from
Yeah,
Germany,
yeah,
Alice
yeah,
is in
yeah, yeah.
Germany. Let
Yeah,
him
yeah, I
start.
know. Some will always say, Alas, do it. Okay, then you can warm up. Yeah, it's a very sad topic, Mr. Sawaneh. Yeah, people used to discuss about it and nobody knows. It's very right to say where is the problem and what are the solutions. This deportation thing, you said it, it's not only Germany, it affected also part of US. And surprisingly, these are the places the Gambians move, or Saudi Arabia, for the growing up pasture. Those days we did it, but it was easy time. You come with your visa, no problem, you will be welcomed and everything. But those days, these people were happy, they were having money. The world was not as difficult as today. So people change as the world is changing. It's just like America, foreigners have paradise. A leader came like Trump now and try to make it difficult for other people. These are always political reasons. For Germany, the problem we have is uh, I can say it's very sad that Germany is no more there for the people asking for asylum here. You understand what I mean? Because the German people, nobody tells them they are having their people also there. They have their embassies and all these things. That's why I used to say never joke with such people. Every evening they send all information happening in Gambia to their people. That's how embassies work and consulate. So nothing is hidden. They know everything. So the fact that Jammeh is no more there and Barrow came and they know that it's now about democracy. So the Gambian people, for example, not even Gambian people, because those days, Jammeh time, people used to enjoy it. Even people from Ghana, Sierra Leone, or other countries, they'll come and say they are from Gambia, you know, because through that it can be easy for them to get asylum. You understand? So after Jammeh went, it's difficult for everybody and for Gambians, especially because when you say now you are from Gambia, you have a problem there, they know that you are telling lies. You understand? So what kind of excuse are you going to give them? Apart from maybe economical asylum. which they'll tell you your country is building up now. It's better you go and build the country with, and make money. And that's how white people always see that too, because they know that before you come here to make money, you can make it also in your country. On the other hand, it can be right because we have a lot of foreigners coming to Gambia. They start selling very small things at the market. For some weeks, you see that they have their own shop, and later they pack all the money and go to Canada or America, even. All through just going up and down, and they have uh, less advantage. You understand? So, being a Gambian, I think the government should try also from outside. Why? Because we learn only history and good English language. You know, when we want to develop the country, I always used to say we have to change it. We have to change it. People have to go more of the technology and try to build it. And then there the youth will have chance, and maybe they will not even think of back way or any other thing. You know, and this migration problem, that is a world problem. That is not only from today. We knew that those days, even the time of Moses, Exodus, and so things like that. That is just today in a modern way, in a modern form. But you used to have that. But today is like this, that people, as the world is getting more difficult and many countries are having more economical problems, they will not be friendly anymore. And they will change. And you can see it in Europe, in America, because you came those days, then in our time, we were welcome and everything. Today, when they see people coming, they say, hey, no, because they are fed up, I mean, they're trying, because Germany is also doing a very, they're human in certain things towards Africa, because the people who came here, Mr. Sawaneh, you said it, we are having normally over 15,000 Gambians living here. You understand? Here in Germany. Sam, maybe you missed that one. I was just saying we are having over 15,000 Gambians living here. Just imagine. It seems as if half of Gambia is living in Germany. The saddest thing is only, that's what I used to complain every time. Those days by Germany, we had here a consulate. Just imagine, this consulate is not a Gambian. It's not a Gambian, and no Gambian go there because they are afraid that this person can be a spion or can expose them. So this man is just receiving Gambian tax money for doing nothing. So, or making deals those days, I don't know, with the ex. So now Barrow came, people were hoping that maybe the government or the foreign office maybe will see that with their eyes without anybody telling them. So they came in power. We're talking of 4 years, it's still the same man sitting there where nobody goes. So the Gambians here don't have any help. Apart from that, Minister of Foreign Affairs will come here maybe 5 minutes and that's it. We have no close contacts with Germany at all. If you go to Berlin, the poorest countries, they are having their own people as ambassador sitting there or as consulate. Because how can you in this world hold a foreigner to be your consulate or your foreigner? This man, you cannot keep any government secret away from him because he is working for the government. And when you talk about the government in Facebook, they say it's a crime. But you are still a citizen. That is even better than giving a foreigner to know the government secrets as if there is no Gambian there who can do that. That is the biggest failure, I would say, what the Foreign Office in Gambia, I never said anything about them, but that is catastrophic. Go and ask them. A white man is sitting here. The boys, when they have problems, most of the time they call me, even, which I don't have the time for. I don't get money for. But because of Gambia, I give advices and things like that. It's also parallel
They
to
call
my
you
life,
for help, right?
you know. Yeah, advices and all. I don't need money for that. I do it, with my heart because I know the place. I can give advices. When they follow it, it will be successful. But most of them are they're dickhead. When you say this, they go and do that, and later they come again, starting to cry. But it's very sorrowful. You understand? And these are facts. Over 15,000 Gambians are here. They have nobody to go to. Just imagine. And then they take dozens of ambassadors, sending them around Asian somewhere, some islands where there is only 3 Gambians living there, paying them money. These are all tax money again. So what I would do is, even if I don't go to school or anything, where my people are most to help them. You understand? Because what is the use of ambassadors where you have the most Gambians and there is nobody? Then there must be something wrong at the Foreign Office of the Gambia. People ask me also, what is your government doing? You understand? That is the biggest question. I mean, the situation of Gambia before was people go to through the back way because most of them said, okay, because of economical problems, poverty. I'm a youth. I want to help my family, and they don't see any chances there. For the youth, they don't see any chances because Gambia, the biggest employer is the government. So when these youths don't have the chance to make higher education, their chances are zero. That's why I advise every youth to try and do what he can and don't try to make money just to go through this back way. Take the money as a capital. Gambia is there. Do it as the foreigners also doing, taking the whole money, from us, and we are fine to do these jobs, but they are there. If somebody is dreaming of coming to Europe, he is not going to have stress. I can tell that person it's a big mistake. In Gambia, you have time to sit and drink attire, but if you come here, you'll be disappointed. I don't know other countries, but if you come to Germany, that is walking wall. I mean, walking wall. You know how I drink my attire? Sometimes I just make it as tea in my flask, and that's it. Because you don't have the time. So these are things where I can say Gambia is nice. Sometimes you have the time to sit at the Bantaba and talk about 3 hours and things like that. But here you are always after the money because you have to pay. So you have to run. America likewise. Some people are having 3 jobs, from here to there, and. So I would say that's my advice to take that money, like 40,000, taking it on the way to Libya, where you are going to die and lose everything, and you risk the way, all the highs, I used to say, and come to Germany, they tell you, okay, sorry, you have to go back. So people should know that it's not easy for Gambians to just come like that and say asylum. Some people are having a little bit time given. We have call it here duldom. That means just to give you time because they want to send you straight away. And here is a place of laws. Everything is with law. That's why even those people, the government cannot just send them like that. They are even giving a lawyer. Just imagine, which country will do that? Every individual Gambian who is going to be deported after his asylum rejection, he has the chance to appeal to the court, taking a lawyer, and this lawyer is going to be paid from the government. Just imagine how human. But they have their principles and laws, where they say, okay, why should we do that now? We give them the money so that they build a center, and that's exactly what they did for Gambia, to give them the money to build a center for the youths so that they can do practical. Even these German people, they know that our way of our curriculum is the poorest in the world, especially a developing country. They're trying to give Gambia government the tool, building a center for the youths so that they'll have skills later for somebody or for themselves. That's where you start to plant it. You know, they didn't just say they're going to be deported like that. They give the governments also the money to try and have a background for them. I hope that the money is going to be used exactly like that, because they are monitoring everything and they know Africa. I hope, because that's the only way we can try to stop it from the government side. And the other side, I would advise all youths to try and see what they can start in the Gambia. The Gambia is a place to make money. We are seeing it. Foreigners are coming all the way from Ghana, Nigeria. I don't know. You understand? They know that Gambia is good. It's better than their countries. And it's a stepping stone for most of them. They come to Gambia, make a lot of money, and take the money, buy a ticket, and even go to America or Canada. They didn't make it in their places. They'll come to Gambia and make it. So nobody should tell me that the money is not there. It's there. The youths have to be ready. Let's call a spade, to do the jobs what brings money, and should forget about what the people are saying outside. Because being a Gambian, if somebody see me washing a car, I know. They're talking. Sawaneh is washing car. Sawaneh is what is about washing car? He was washing car, but he is earning a
decent money. It's
decent
earning
money.
sweat. Yeah.
That's it. They'll not talk about that so that you'll be proud. They'll try to discourage you. And if you leave it, nobody is going to give you that money, the people who are discouraging. So that is unfairness. They should respect. That's why the Germans are different. Here you respect every profession. If somebody tells you, I used to take away the garbage or something like that, but he's proud of it because he's proud of his salary, that he didn't steal it anywhere. Here every profession is respected. So that must be in the heads of the people also. It's a mentality thing. That's why many Gambians are also having these problems. They would rather go and clean a toilet in Europe than cleaning a toilet in Gambia. Why? Because the way people think. If you do that today, if you don't mind, you'll not even have a wife. Because every time they tell, yeah, that's it. It's very serious. You know it. We don't need to talk about it, because people will tell that person even what do you need from Sam. Sam can only wash a toilet. That's where it starts. So that means washing toilet is a no-go for Gambians. So we put that aside. So I say cleaning a car. You say no, people will laugh at me. We put it aside. Even auto mechanic. No. I'll make my dresses dirty. I know that because those days, as we were young, we used to call them, I don't know, yechi belongi nanchi diwi, in Wolof. I don't know whether you heard it before. We used to call the mechanics yechi belongi nanchi diwi, So things like that, So I knew that in Banjul there was a time, so I don't know what was his name again. He was a very smart boy. He was in Europe and he learned auto mechanic. He came to Gambia. He could make every vehicle, but was a very humble man, always with a short trouser, a little bit dirty. But when he takes out his portemonnaie, then it's all full every time.
Okay.
So he thinks different because he was in Europe. But as if he was all the time in Gambia, he would never do that. But I know when you are outside, you have other mentality. You see the world. Nothing can surprise you anymore. It's a different thing. So I think that is also our problem. We should be ready to do everything to make money ourselves, decent money, and not to risk the bad way with 40 or 50,000. Risk your life. Many lives are gone. I mean, Jamaica time you cannot blame them. But today, people who know the danger, in Libya, and all these way, and when they come, they'll put them in camps in Italy and I don't know, Spain. You know, these are the poorest countries in Europe now. You know, you can say, or Portugal, I don't know.
Thank you.
And after they make this risk come to Germany, they tell them you have to go back. The last time, even a Gambian caused suicide here. You know, because they told him that he's supposed to go to Gambia. So he caused suicide because maybe he was here, maybe you never know in what conditions and what he left home. And he was very disappointed. Before nobody tell anybody that. I can tell them, I can advise them, but they'll not hear it anywhere. You know, I mean, before risking this life, I would say take the money, it's a capital, try to make business with it, and have patience. Within 1 year, you'll see where you are. Then you'll say, okay, I don't even need to go to Europe. Because many are in Gambia, they are making business. They have a lot of money. They've never gone to the airport. So doesn't necessarily mean that when you are in Europe, you'll make it. You know, you can only make it where God says you'll make it. You know, it can happen sometimes. I myself, the Germany was not my first station. When I left Gambia those days, I was first in Holland. From there, I moved here. You know, because God said maybe I had to be here somewhere. So the solutions for these things, I mean, I can only repeat: the government should try and provide
Yeah.
jobs, empower the youths, and then we try to change the curriculum. And
Yeah, you have to give, definitely.
the youth should concentrate more on the technology and the
Yeah,
future technology
you
for
said it
example.
all. You said it all, definitely. Yeah. Thank
So
you.
I think Sam can come now.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, let's try
Yep.
to be
Thanks, Alice.
more brief because if we spend too much time, then we can we can go back and forth. Yeah, but that's a good details because you, Alice, you live in Germany, so you have covered almost everything. So we're gonna come in and poke in areas that we need great enforcement, and so our viewers can really get how interactive we are with this discussion. Sam, you can go ahead. Thank you so much, Alice.
Yeah,
My
thanks,
pleasure.
Alice. That was very, very detailed as usual. So thank you for that. And firsthand information from Germany. So that's awesome, so people can hear that because Germany is deportation is pretty much everywhere. Every country normally will deport people. There will be deportation in countries, but it all depends on where you are and where most people go and what are the reasons. If you think about why do countries deport people, um, you know a perfect example is if we look at Gambia, we see foreigners in Gambia. We see Nigerians, Guineans, Ghanaians, people from Sierra Leone. We see people from Senegal. And when we're in Gambia, we think they're there, they're doing all these jobs, they're taking jobs, and they're involved in criminal activities as well, doing all kinds of things, illegal money laundering, all kinds of things. We think of them that way. We think of them taking our girls. We think of them with all kinds of things. So, if you think about it, all these are things that makes us not want them in our country. Is the same way in other countries. Other countries also think that foreigners are coming there taking their jobs, from their citizens. Foreigners are coming in there and committing crimes, a lot of crimes in there. Foreigners are coming in and depending on their government to sponsor them for their medical bills, welfare, and support from the government. And these countries are spending a lot of money on foreigners, and a lot of different reasons that makes them want to put strict laws on migration so that they can limit the number of people coming there. They're not going to stop migration. People are going to migration is in the history. People are always going to travel and go somewhere else. People want to move somewhere else, but the key word is do it legally versus illegally. So when that happened, countries look for ways to reduce the amount of migrants to their country. And one way to do that is, of course, they tighten the visa application process in foreign countries. So people have a hard time getting visa to go to their countries because they have very tough regulations and very high restrictions and all kinds of reasons around that. So they make it difficult for people. And the other part is when people come into their country, they also make it difficult for them to get legal documents to be able to stay there and work. So all of these are things that we have to keep into consideration. And of course, Gambians, if you think about Gambians, they travel different ways. There are people that travel and enter countries legally by going to their embassies in Gambia and apply for visa, get all the necessary paperwork and requirements that they require, present them to be able to apply for a visa and go legally and enter those countries legally. Well, the ones that cannot get those papers or have been turned down from visa applications, and they're sitting there, don't have any job, they don't have any hope for themselves and their families. They really want to go do something to help their families, and they decide to take the risk of going the back way. A back way, which is a very high risk with a 50% chance of living because they can die. And we've seen people that died in the oceans. Now, after they made it to those countries, here are some of the things that happen. When they make it to those countries, now getting the right paperwork to be able to live and work, legal documents to be able to stay there and work is a big challenge, is really tough to get those. So people use different sources of getting paperwork. Of course, you can marry their citizens, you can go find different ways. There are different ways, and most Gambians use asylum, seek asylum. Well, asylum seekers also have to consider the fact that there are fundamental laws surrounding asylum, people that seek asylum. What are the reasons? Why are you seeking asylum? What is in your country that made you want to seek asylum here? And why didn't you go somewhere else? They think about all of those and consider their cases. And a lot of times they reject them. A lot of times, they reject them. And what Gambians don't realize sometimes is, and I want to make sure that people understand this, when you enter a country and you go to submit paperwork to be able to apply for legal documentation for you to be able to stay and work in that country, you're giving all your information to that country. The asylum papers, you're stating your name, your full name, your place of birth, your mother's and father's names. All of that information is on there. You said you're from Gambia. You put all of that on the asylum paper. Now, once you submit that, they review your case and realize that you're not eligible for those for you to have documentation there to be given legal status. They reject the application. Once they reject the application, now they have all your information. They say, here you go. This person is in this file. This person will be one of those that we will put into consideration to deport. Now, and they put them also into, when they're ready to, before they report people, of course, they classify people into different classes. Those who have committed crimes in their country are going to be in one pile, and the ones that have never committed any crime. Well, if they get your information because your asylum was rejected and they put your paperwork here, what happened is then you run into criminal activities. And of course, in fact, when I'll take a back step here. When you file any documentation in most countries, I'll talk about in America, they want to run a background check on you. They're going to run your fingerprints. They're going to take your fingerprints and run a background check and see if you were ever arrested. And what was that for? To look at your background, your criminal history. If you have no criminal history, that's good. If you have a criminal history, that's really bad for you, because you almost have zero chance of staying there. They want to send you back because of your criminal background. One, you are in their country illegally. And two, well, first, for most cases, with the backway boys especially, you entered that country illegally, one, and two, you are staying there illegally, no papers. So you are an undocumented person. Now they have all your information. They run your records from your asylum application and realize that you're a criminal. You've committed some crimes. You were arrested. All that criminal information is there. Europe or US is not like Gambia. They arrest you, they take you, and they release you, and 2 years down the road, nobody knows anything. Well, here it's not like that. Once you get arrested, your name and information get in the system that they're going to look and track you, and the system that they're going to look for, and that criminal activity will be will count against you for the rest of your life, pretty much. So to look at that, and if you've been involved in a crime, you definitely going to be on that list of people that they're going to deport. They're going to be the first people. They're going to actually, when they're ready to do this, they will organize and go after you and look at where you said you live on your papers that you fill out and the places that you work. You fill all of that. You already gave them all the information they needed to know. And so they will go after you and look for you, find you, capture you, and take you to a detention center. While you're in the detention center, this is where they will start to work on your paperwork. And where do they get your paperwork? Well, in a lot of applications, also they require you to put in a copy of your passport if you have a passport. If you don't have a passport, that's another thing. Maybe a copy of your birth certificate and things like that, which again all still reveals your identification anyway. So in order for them to deport you to your country, they will have to talk with your Gambian embassy in that area. And that embassy will is the one that's going to supply the travel documents. And before they supply the travel documents, they want to interview. They want to make sure that this person is truly from Gambia. So let's bring them in and arrange an interview. You sit with them and talk. And most Gambians don't even want to speak local language because you don't want to be identified. Well, we forget that our paperwork has already been filed 2-3 years ago, and they have everything that they need to know about you. All they want to do is to confirm with the embassy that, yeah, this person is from Gambia. And then so the embassy can say, so they can tell the embassy, now we need that travel document because this person needs to go. And Gambia government cannot stop it. They cannot stop the deportation. What they can do, however, is there are things that they can do. One is really, just like in America, we always say it doesn't hurt to ask. Always, they can negotiate, they can ask, what can you do for our people? They can plead that, Gambia is a very poor country. We're in the new republic. We don't have anything. We're trying to get back, get our feet back on track after 22 years of dictatorship. So can you give us a chance? Can you hold our people? Can we ask that you give them work permit, let them work for some time before you send them home? At least let them have something so they're not depending on your own government. If you provide them a work permit, they can work for a couple of years. After that, especially those who have never been involved in crime, maybe give them papers to stay there. Ask all those questions. Can we give them papers to stay there, a residence permit or something to stay there, and allow them to work? If no way, they can say, at least if you give them a work permit to work for 2-3 years and be able to gather some money for themselves, when you send them home at that point, they can go back with something rather than nothing. Because if they go back home, we currently have a very high unemployment rate. If you bring these people on top of that unemployment rate, we're just going to go from bad to worse. That's what's going to happen. We're going to go from bad to worse. And criminal activity is going to be here. It's going to be very high in the country because a lot of youth sitting there with no jobs. They need money to survive. They need money to fulfill their dreams or to fulfill their basic necessities. So give them all the reasons. Somebody from the government, Gambia government, should be able to have good negotiating skills using embassies and government officials, Ministry of External Affairs especially, to talk to these people and see what can they do, what can they get out of this. I mean, half a loaf is better than no bread. Getting something little is better than getting nothing, and just deport people. Before you allow, or not allow, I wouldn't say allow, but before you just say, yep, go ahead and deport them, you should investigate and see what can they do. take them, send them home, we can receive them. You need to try do everything you can to keep these people there. Let them work, find a job for them, give them papers, let them work and support their family, at least support themselves before you send them home. If worst case scenario, all of that fails, well, then the Gambia government cannot just say that we're not going to take them. If you say you're not going to take them, they can put sanctions on you that will impact the whole country, and those sanctions can be impactful negatively to our country. So it all depends on what kind of sanctions they put on them. But at that point, this is where you go to the last resort. The last resort is, if you're not going to allow our people to stay in your country and you're going to send them anyway, at least give them something that they can take with you. And from what we're hearing, I don't have any evidence on this, that they've already given Gambia government some money to create centers for them. If that is true, I don't know, but I'm just saying, if that is true, then the Gambia government really need to be ready to receive these people. You can say, well, give us time, let's build these centers, skill centers, where when you bring them, one, we're going to ask that you give them some money, give them something to come with. And when they give the money, I would recommend that to get the government out of that. When you deport them, give them money give it to them themselves, give it to the deportees, the people that you're going to send home. Let them go with their own money. Don't give it to the government, because the government, when the government gets that money, these people are not going to get that money. If they get anything, they may get just a little bit, just a little chunk out of it. That will last 1 weekend. It will all be gone. That's what's going to happen. So if they get something and give them some money, and then also government takes funds, they will give them free funds for sure if they ask for this, to build skill centers. In those skill centers, you have electricians. You can have people go learn how to be an electrician, carpenters, heating and air conditioning, masonry work, a lot of things, building and construction, all kinds of things that they can learn there. So if all of those centers are open in all the regions, for example, because not all of these people are from Combo, you spread them out so they're not all gathering in the already densely populated area, which is the Combos. You want to open centers up in where they're from, all the regions. So wherever they come from, they come with money in their hand. They go learn skills there, and chances are they will be able to open their own business in that area. But not only that, I also would encourage that if you're opening training and skill centers for our people, for our youths, the government should also try to look into creating their own maintenance department, because Gambia is not very good with maintaining. They can build a very nice story building now. 2 years, that building will look like goats living it. It's just going to look like that. So it's going to look like animals living it, because nobody takes care of it. They leave it alone, and paint get all scraped and all kinds of things, towels broken, everything. Nobody maintains that. So if they create their own maintenance department that are part of the government, they really can save a lot of money. Instead of paying thousands of dollars to contractors, especially foreign contractors, let's have our own government maintenance department. When these people graduate from these skill centers, we employ technicians, electricians here, masoners here, building and construction, plumbing, heating and air conditioning. Put all of them in place, Pantamain. That way, they maintain the government buildings, all the government properties, especially our hospitals. Look at how deteriorated our hospitals are. Very bad shape, in very bad condition. If you walk in hospitals in RVTH or RVH in Gambia, you would think that this is, if you never knew and you're from another country, you've never been to Gambia, if they tell you that's a hospital, you're going to laugh. You're going to say, are you kidding me? This is a hospital? It's very sad. It is very sad. And the government can take advantage of this by properly receiving these people that are being deported, already have their funds in them. They put their money in their bank accounts, and they have free education going to a skill center. When they come out, they can do something for themselves at that point. So there's a lot of things around it. I'm going to stop here and pause here for a little bit for Mr.
Thank you very much.
And then we can go from here.
Yeah, that was another important, very, very, very well, stated. I think you guys have touched almost everything. Just leave me to just poke into some little places here and there. So I would start with how this whole thing happened, when it all started, and what is the reason. So I'm looking at the data here. It says 38,500 people left Gambia in through irregular means between 2013 to 2017. Can you believe that? 38,500 people left Gambia
Too much.
illegally
Yeah,
in
because
5
of
years.
situations, because of their
Wow,
situation. We
that's why
cannot
I'm
blame
coming.
them
That's why I'm
sometimes.
coming. So this is all also has to do with Jama era. Okay, the country people don't have opportunity to speak their mind. Their life were threatened. We are in dictatorship, poverty, you name it. So the exodus of all these people forcefully through illegal ways are all caused by the country. So first of all, we failed. We failed as a country because we don't have things there for our people to embark on. Remember, like 40, 50 years ago, people don't think about traveling. At that time, what we think about is farming, families. There's a lot of love, within people, families, and people were happy. We didn't even think about Europe. I can tell you, 50, 40 years ago, if people have traveled, would be very few, but we were surviving. Okay, our elders were surviving. So when this mass exodus come, because materialistic mind, this we develop this materialistic mind. Now everybody want to go. Families want to go. One family go this place. The person comes in and build something. The other family would be inspired to go or want to feel like they want to. So we started building this, and some of the things that the reason why we go through a whole lot of this is because, like I said before, we don't have a structure. We don't have good leadership, and everything comes down to that. We can sit here and blame people going backwards, but if we have the right mindset since Jawara's time up to now, if we had the right leadership, trust me, people will be encouraged to sit home and work and feed their families. But the wages are so poor, there's no employment, and people are not even encouraged. And then also, I will give you know also blame to some of us, because again, Gambians, like Alice said, we when we are home, we don't want to do certain work. I understand, you know, the pride in the fact that I'm a Gambian, and this person knows me. This person knows me. If I started collecting garbage or cleaning somebody's toilet, they would think that I'm worthless. But if you come to Europe, you come to America, that's what you're gonna be doing before you settle down. Do you know what people do here? You will not even believe it. But again, I can understand because no one is watching them here. But back home, you have families, people who are gonna say stuff, and maybe you cannot even have a girlfriend or proper wife because somebody would be worried about. I mean, somebody would be talking about the kind of work that you do. That being said, the Fulanese and other people who travel from other countries come to Gambia and start with a table. They started selling with a small table. Next thing you know, it's expanded. Next thing you know, it's expanded. Next thing you know, they have a shop. And next thing you know, they're able to drive cars. So you wonder how does this happen? They came here with a table, small table, right, sitting in the corner at the corner of the street. So it's all about, I think, commitment and creativity and the mindset. And there are some Gambians also who actually beat the odds by being creative. They start doing some old little thing on their own. They've never traveled and they made it. So it's what you make use of what you have, the resource you have at your disposal. It's not all about having to travel. If you say that, some people will tell you, "Oh, you already travel, you are there, so that's why you're talking like this." You probably don't want. But if you come here, trust me, nowadays it's different from the past. When you first come to this country, Social Security, you can get it without having a paper. You just go to, Social Security office, they give you. But ask people who come now. If you don't come here legally, you will probably stay here until you are deported or something happened without getting it, because everything is hard. So this is about time that we need to, our government and our citizens need to have, a plan B. The plan B is, what can we use? How can we use what we have in our country? How can the government create technical workforce, practical workforce, not only studying history or other curriculum that would not benefit you physically. Let's build more institutions. There's a lot of technology out there that the Gambian, government can embark on, and allow those technological companies to come in Gambia and invest. Let's give our little businesses opportunities to contracts, instead of having a foreign contractor coming in and give you money under the table. Let's encourage our own businesses. This is all once you encourage. If I encourage Alas today as a businessman and give him, like government contracts, guess what? Sam would say, gee, if I come with something else, the government will give me. Party will say something else, government will give me. Then that's when people are encouraged. I sat with President Barrow and asked him this: how can your government help Gambians and prioritize them when it comes to business, when it comes to opportunities for this kind of contracts? Because we have seen Gambians have bad contracts and it failed. Look at Abraham's case with the ID card issue. So the government need to rethink about this. Don't worry about the cut that you're gonna get from a Chinese man by under the table, because that's gonna benefit you and your staff or whoever. And then you stop Alas or Sam from getting that contract. You know what that Chinese man would do? He would invest by bringing Chinese people to come and work instead of actually employing Gambians. So these are all economic issues that we need to work around. As far as going back way, we need to discourage our people. Back way, just because one person escaped and made it to Spain, doesn't mean everybody would. And one Gambian person dying in the sea, worth a lot. Because that person, a lot of people are related to the person. And then not only that, that person could have been somebody if he hasn't crossed that sea. So Gambians' life matters. We shouldn't take this risk. Have you seen any Americans or anybody taking the risk going back way to somewhere? Maybe perhaps they don't have the need for it. But I'm telling you, even if the kind of mindset that they have, even if they have the need for it, they will not do it. One American told me, you guys, it's not your country that is the problem, it's you. I said, why? He said, you guys come to our country because you know why? You guys cannot fix yourself in your country. Your country has it. He said, if you guys all come here and stay in America, Europe, and we Americans go to Africa, we leave everything with you here. We go to Africa. In 5 to 10 years, guess what? You're gonna leave this America that we leave everything with you and go to Africa and meet us there again. I swear to God. And then this is the most, yeah, he said, this is the most, one of the most, analogy that I can ever think of. And I said, you are right. We will mess up everything you left here with us in Europe and America. And we come and say, give me a visa. Let me go to Africa.
I want to go to Africa.
So, Putin has said what Africa has can feed the whole of America and Europe until
I
the end
know.
of time.
I
These
know.
people are not lying. The African #1 enemy is leadership. And if we don't take care of this leadership, we are beating around the bush, saying, you know, this thing. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry come to office, we trying to corrupt that person. Because what we are concerned is our pocket. It's us. We are the enemy of our own self.
It's egoistic.
When Barrow came, he's one of the nicest person you can ever meet with a nice mindset. I can attest to that because I've dealt with the man before even all this Barrow youth movement and other things came about. The man had the right intention, but what had happened? I don't need to name names, but we know them. They encircle him and try to tell him something. Even when he first met here in New York, that town hall meeting, the mediator that was dealing with us as a community, because I led that community to deal with Barrow's team, he is not giving the president information. We found that out. He was lying in our communication. Now, when we went to see the president and tell him, he said, I didn't say that. So we can go on and on. Our people are our own problem. We are not putting the country at first. And that get us this mess. Now we don't have proper leadership. Now we don't have the proper economy. Our kids they need to educate. They cannot. They are having responsibility. They have families. They have parents. Now they have to risk their life. And that's what is the cause of everything. Now that that's been caused, this same government, I'm going to come to that, met with EU. If you can Google this online. Before, with Jammeh, with all his odds, with all his killing, trust me, one thing that he didn't agree with is deporting our people. That was a hard fight between him and these EU folks. And that saves a lot of people from being deported. Already you are there. We are there now. Fine. Now, taking us back, what is the need? You risk everything. You cross that sea. You nearly died there. Now you want to take me back. Who is gonna agree to that? I don't mean the people who came with visa. If you came with visa or come to study, maybe that's an easy way. But you cross that river, you nearly died, you were sinking there, you are starving, and now you want to take that person back. I will not like it. And Alice, you will not like it. Sam, you will not like it. So which government is gonna sign something for me to get deported? Just because they want to make money out of us. Just because that government wants Europeans to give them aid. This is the situation that changed. When we have this coalition government came to power under the leadership of Adam Barrow, this is what changed. And this is why our Gambian people are getting deported. And this is not a lie. You can look up. In March 2019, they signed, they kind of put, Gambian government kind of took a step to kind of like stop it, slow it down, but it kicks back in. That's why we are seeing it. It stops before because people start to complain in social media and so forth. Remember when my party and others are in the Dabo and others are in the government? It was happening and they were pointing fingers at them. They signed something, it's true, they signed something. So it stopped when people complain. Now it's coming back again because you know why? This government need money. They need these things. So they're gonna go and sign through our foreign minister. And again, Gambian people, you have the right to complain. Because you know why? When these people come home, they don't find them a way to integrate with the society. Somebody come from Europe, 10 years, 20 years. You come and dump them in the Gambia with no money, with no kind of a way to amalgamate with the society, like what Sam was saying, to find a way to start some training, trying to make them feel, listen, there's no place better than home. We all living in the West, trust me, we are here, but we are not happy. I have to call it spade a spade. How many of you guys are fully happy, like when you go to Gambia? It's gonna be very few. If somebody tell me that he's happy here, I'm just gonna look at you weirdly, because people here are not even happy. That's why they're committing suicide every day. Because this place, you are nobody. You are isolated. Even if you have friends, you call them, let's hang out. Nobody has time. You sit in your room. Where you gonna go? You walk in the park, you see trees, you pass people, you wanna tell them, they say, excuse me. They think you are a robber. They think you're gonna attack them. So who choose to live in that situation? My brothers and sisters, we need to communicate and sensitize our people. Nobody really wants it, but you know why? Because our home is not, we haven't designed it for ourselves that way. All what we do is sit down, drink attire, which I'm a very big drinker of attire. Trust me, attire has nothing to do with this. But we use that as an excuse. Sit down, drink, look at each other, fight each other, backbite, marry multiple wives. We do all the wrong things that can get us nowhere. That's why development is very difficult to come to Gambia. So I think our government need to lift these bans and undo all these documents. Tell the EU, keep your money. We as a government, we're gonna find ways how to get businesses here, how to make our economy go, how to create the right tax alone. If Gambian government don't know, we can discuss this. Tax alone, if it is collected properly and everybody is taxed correctly and nobody steals the money, Gambia in 5 years, tax can put Gambia on the map. Because in Kenya, taxes they don't have any natural resources. I keep saying that. Ask the Kenyan government. But today, Kenya is different than most of the African countries. So our government need to put heads on and work in different ways and then stop corruption, stop embezzlements of funds, stop using Gambians people money on political grounds. This is gonna be our biggest hurdles. So to sum up, you guys say it all. You put it out there. The
Yeah,
government
Mr. Sawaneh,
training,
you too.
we gotta train our people. We gotta do the right things for our people when they come back home. So I will let my panelists say their final words because we're almost on top of the hour. But I hope our listeners are getting something out of this. This is not anything but to say the truth and the only truth that we can possibly say. But we as a citizen and our government, we are all responsible for this. And together we can make a difference. All right, guys. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Sawaneh. You said also everything. Um, Only one thing, what I just wanted to say, you mentioned about Kenya. You know, when you look at Kenya, you can be right. The leadership is always a very important thing, and the way you govern. That they are living from their tax is okay because every country is doing that. Even in Germany, here you pay a lot. We were there in the Gambia, that is Barrow's government, because our business is in Kenya also, and we have seen what that can help the Kenyan youths. That's why you never see them back way with our project. You know, it was just a matter of investing for a package, and then the money goes itself. So many youths benefited a lot, especially Kenya. Even the president himself joined himself also as a member, just to show the youths that this is possible. We were in Gambia. I was there. I took 2 weeks holidays. I was just running up and down. So, and that's it. Till now, I don't hear anything. We wrote the business plan and everything, and that was it. And that was my intention, to take the model, what we did in Kenya, to fix it for Gambian youths in Gambia, because there were many youths who used to call me here, asking me, I helped them to open an account. I did it a lot of occasions after I say, look, I'm not the president of the Gambia, you know.
Maybe
So
you should work
yeah,
with the president of the
yeah,
Ghana.
yeah. So I took extra holidays. I went to Gambia 2 weeks. I was just running up and down, extra, to make sure that at least they work with me together to save the youth. So till now, what we are talking, that was it. So these are failures, I could say. So we cannot compare us with Kenya. Look at Kenya. You don't hear them back way on all this nonsense. No, So the leading and the way somebody is governing is very important. That people are leaving Gambia, going away. I mean, that is also, it could have worked different, you know. And again, about the EU, Gambia don't have any chance. Gambia can do it, what you said, to say, no, we are going to do it alone. That when you can do it, when you can do everything for yourself. So when I say we are beggars, it's always very hard, but that is what we are. We should not be beggars when we killed corruption long time, you know. But look, as a I don't know, a poor country like Gambia, where everybody knows that we need this money, nobody is serious about the anti-corruption day. This time, I'm not going to blame Mr. Barrow because he signed that long time. So there are other people with their own interests who are sitting somewhere saying that they are helping Gambians. That's why they sit there.
It's not Barrow alone.
I know.
Barrow is just following them.
No, Barrow had already signed this bill. I know we're getting the information about everything. That's why this time I'm not going to blame him. But the thing is delaying from some people with following their own interest, because they want it to be like that. Now we're going to the fourth year. So you should not be surprised that the government cannot do a lot of things. The tax you're saying, who is going to control that? Every door is open because that's how many people like it that way, because that's how they live. Exactly. So, so we cannot say that in words to say the Europeans, you have to do this and do that. No, just as Sam said, you are going to be sanctioned. Sanctioning you doesn't mean that you, the president, will suffer. They did that to Jame. Who suffered? The Gambians. It's just like Russia. The whole world sanctioned Putin, but who is going to suffer? The people. You understand? So when these people sanction you, that means they are not going to give you certain aids.
Yeah.
So you cannot help as a government your people. So your people are going to suffer. And most of the people sitting up, they don't care. They are having it already. So they can help you. They can help the Gambia.
Yeah.
It's a big mistake because that's why I say the Gambia should have close ties with these people. Just recently they sent in Ethiopia, I don't know, about 300 millions, just about for them to help themselves against hunger. Understand? Why they think of them? Because they are having somebody sitting in Berlin. That's how the countries do, so that they have tight connection with these the Americans, or they place their own people, not taking a German, putting him there. As chancellor, he's eating the tax money and not doing anything for Gambia. The boys are here; they don't know where to go.
Alice, if you can let Sam come, then you can come back because he's about to leave.
No. I myself, I have to close because I told you what I wanted to do. I just wanted to tell you.
This is an interesting topic that keeps everybody thinking outside of the box and talking about it. But just to reiterate what you both said too, a couple of things. One, Alice's point, yes, it is true that anywhere there's a Gambian population of migrants in a country, they need to have a Gambian consulate or embassy there, a Gambian ambassador, not a German ambassador or a German consulate. It should be a Gambian citizen. They really can find someone that can do that, that has lived in Germany, understands Germany very well, knows the language, studied all of that, be able to communicate with both German and Gambian. That's what they need in Germany, not a German person. So on the other side, you know, when Alice said that the anti-corruption bill that was signed and Barrow signed it, you can say, yeah, technically don't blame Barrow because he signed it. But at the same time, I'm going to say, I'm going to hold Barrow accountable because he's the leader. Leadership, as part of leadership skills is when you put something, you sign something, you need to follow up.
I'm going to come in here.
Yeah, you need to follow up. If I were him and I signed something into law, I signed something and that needs to take place, why is it not happening? I'm going to ask, why is it not happening? Who is sitting on that? I want to find out. I need to know tomorrow. I need somebody to tell me, why is this not on? I want it on. That's why I signed it. Why is it not happening? So I'm going to hold people accountable. If somebody is doing something that was illegal or doing it deliberately, I'll get him out of there because that person is between me and my success. I'll get him out of there. I'll just say, you're out of here. Why are you wasting people's time here? Corruption is the biggest thing in our country. We need to fight it. If we sign a bill, a corruption, anti-corruption bill, it needs to go into effect now, not tomorrow, now, you know? So, but anyway, so I would say that the president can really can follow up on that. He can follow up on that and see where that is. At the end of the day, what I want to somewhat conclude with is we need some sensitization in our country. Gambia needs to get on, we need to get on television and educate people, sensitize people about travel, deportation, about our own cultural affairs, you know, things that happen in our country, change people's mindset, bring people into the country and put them on television, let them talk, not really bring people into the country, get people in the country there. There are capable people there that can get on television and really sensitize people and change the mindset of people that, hey, if you refuse to wash dishes here, when you go to America, you're going to wash dishes there. So how can we change people's mindset on that? You know, what do we need to tell people? That it's okay. It's okay. Don't say to men that if you're a dishwasher or you are a gardener or a toilet cleaner or you are a construction worker or a mechanic with dirty uniforms, you're not going to get married. I mean, I'm not going to marry you. We need to take that mindset away because those are the people that are getting married outside. There are other people, more beautiful women that are marrying those people overseas. So let's marry them here. You know, let's take that mindset away from people so they think that, you know, so they can understand.
Let's tell our ladies that.
As long as you can earn a good living, you're good. You know, so that's kind of like where I want to end it with. So, but thank you both for your time, though.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you, Sam. Alice, your final word.
Yeah, my advice is only that they have to maybe try the last minute to get this anti-corruption bill because it's the same. They have signed all bills, discussed all bills, but the most important thing, which should have been the first one, they put it away. That is showing you what is Gambia. And that to fight it, you have to be a hard leader. This would not, it's very simple and very sad. And we should not be surprised when everything is going this way. That's why it's false to say that we are poor. So thank you very much.
All right.
That's what I wanted to say.
Thank you, guys. You guys have said it all. Thank you. So we catch up next week. Thanks, our audience. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Alice.
Have
a good day,
Bye-bye.
guys. All right. Take care.
Yeah. Thank you both. Thank you.
All right. Take care.